Welcome to Reading Between the Lines. Today we are going to be talking about icks or icks in books. I'm going to get this wrong. Icks that are in books or tropes that are in books that we think would be the ick in real life, would give us the ick in real life. I eventually said it.
That was so roundabout, but you got there.
It's Monday. Okay. We were recording this on a Monday, which was stupid on our part. Okay.
No, for real. And this Monday, out of all Mondays, oh my goodness.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, this is Reading Between the Lines. We're both emotionally unstable, but that's okay because we're doing it together. So go team. Let me try again.
I think that was funny.
I mean, you could do both. Book tropes that would give us the ick in real life.
Yes.
Look at me go. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. Once again, Alexis has nothing because I just have nothing. Emma has an entire list, which we are going to talk through. I'm sure something will come up that I'll be like, we need to talk about this, but I am a fan of all book tropes for the most part. Some have their place, some don't. But I think in real life I would like almost all of them. But we'll get into it.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay.
I'm going to start off strong with a hot take.
Of course you are. Okay.
Okay. Enemies to lovers. Are you serious? Let me explain. And I think I've said this in a previous episode, but once I don't like someone, I don't like someone. Like, I'm never gonna give them another chance again. I'm never gonna like them. Like, they're on my shit list for life. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Emma does not believe in forgiveness.
No, I hold grudges like no other. Like, people are like, be the better, bigger person. I'm like, no, that's not me.
Emma would never. So never get on Emma's bad side, I guess, is what we're saying.
No. See, it'd be different if I was like annoyed by them at first and then it changed to something, but enemies, absolutely not. And I think that only works really well in fantasy/romantasy books.
Here's the thing though, I don't know what we consider an enemy in real life. You know what I mean? Like, there are definitely people in life that you're like, you suck, I don't like you. But like, what truly is an enemy in real life?
Okay, I'm gonna say a person and I'm gonna cut it out, but I want you to like understand what I'm trying to say, right?
So somebody that actually pushes your buttons and like whenever you think about them makes your skin crawl, like full-blown hatred.
Yes.
For that person. That's an enemy.
Yes. I'm glad you could put that into words after I said the person.
Okay, so that's what we're saying. So you're saying there's no way that you could do that. Is that what we're saying? Or are we saying that just gives you the ick that when people do that? Or are you saying you could never yourself?
I could never myself.
Okay. Interesting. See, here's the thing that I feel like, here's the difference between us is obviously I'm in a relationship and you're not. So like, I feel like, okay, that wasn't supposed to be a diss. But what I'm saying is it's like, obviously I have a different perspective of all these things that we're going to talk about. But like, I wouldn't say that we were enemies. But I definitely didn't like him. He was so annoying at first, like before we started talking. And so I was like, I don't like you. You're annoying. But
that's
now
the difference when it's like annoying versus enemies. Like,
right. So, okay, but we've talked about this. Do you think Frysand and Farah were enemies?
No. Because they never hated each other. Like, Rhysand hated Tamlin. And
But I'm
Farah
not
was
saying
scared of Rhysand because Tamlin said that he was terrible. Like, they never, like, hated each other.
I also think that your idea of enemies to lovers is very different than mine because in my brain, I'm not like they hate each other. It's like the world puts them as enemies. So like in that case, they were because the Night Court was technically known to everybody as quote unquote bad. And so they were the enemy to everybody outside of the Night Court. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I know this is like a controversial like topic of like what is enemies to lovers because like in Powerless, Kai and Peyton are are considered enemies because they're put against each other, but they're not. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think Peyton and Kai are enemies to lovers. Do you think Castile and Poppy are enemies to lovers?
No,
What?
I don't think so. I think if there was like a little bit of attraction, at least at first, or like interest, then that's not like enemies. Like I think they have to be enemies first and then grow to like each other.
Okay. You're saying that could never happen.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Really.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like opposites attract. I guess though, like nobody's ever like, if you're stuck on like, I don't like this person, then you don't like that person.
Yeah, no, but I'm like very stubborn. So I don't want someone who's like the opposite of me and who would be like counter like a lot of things I do. I'd be like, no, this can't be like it's my way.
Okay. Okay. I can agree to an extent. I think that there definitely is something to be said for people like disliking somebody and then it turning into something more after. But enemies to lovers, specifically that trope, I could agree. Especially because that's so fantasy coded. Like, there's just no way that's real life. Because also the scenarios in fantasy books are not the scenarios that we go through in this life.
Yeah.
So,
like I'm not fighting someone with daggers. Like that's not gonna happen.
if that was the case though, it'd be different.
Yeah, exactly. But in like real life, it's just
Right. Not in real life.
yeah.
Fair enough. I feel like people will disagree with you, but that's all. Because that is like the best trope.
I love reading enemies to lovers and romanticies. Like it's so good, like watching the tension and the chemistry build. But I wouldn't want to live that for myself.
Right. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The forbidden romance trope.
I don't fully understand that trope.
It's like they want to be together, but they can't be together.
So Romeo and Juliet situation.
Yeah. Kind of thing. There was another book that I recently read. It wasn't These Violent Delights. It was something else. And it was like kind of forbidden romance.
The Rivaled Crown?
Maybe.
Because in that they were on two separate sides.
Yeah.
So technically they couldn't be together.
Yeah. So like a situation like that, because even though the tension, like those tropes have so much tension, in real life, I would crash out. I would for real crash out. If I had a crush on someone and I could not have them no matter what, I would crash out.
But wouldn't that make you want to fight harder for it?
No.
So you just wouldn't put in the effort.
Alexis, you know me. Let's be so for real.
But what if it was
based on past experiences? You know I wouldn't do that.
No, but what if it was like head over heels, this is your soulmate, but you could not be together? You would not put in the effort for it?
I have no idea, to be honest, but I would crash out either way. I'd lose my mind. And I can't lose any more. I'm already crazy enough.
Felt that for real. Okay, but no, okay. But again, I say, where would that happen in real life? Like, okay, like we figure out what an enemy is, but like, where would would it be like religious, whatever? Like, what I'm saying, like, where would the forbidden come in real life?
I didn't think that far deep into it.
Then how are we supposed to have this discussion?
I don't know. Just think for any reason whatsoever you can't be with someone that you want to be with. For any reason possible. But like the tension is still there, and every time you see each other, like the chemistry is there, but you can't be with that person.
I feel like I'm too rebellious not to like not I'm not, but like I feel like if that was me, I would like because I'm not at all. But like if I was in that situation, I would totally like and I would be okay with it.
I could see you. Yeah, you'd be like, I don't care about anything and just be with the person. I could definitely see you doing that.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I think it is. You see what you want, you go after it.
True. No, I don't think that I would hope on the other end, on like the guy's end, that they would put in the effort.
Yeah.
If they didn't, that would give me the ick.
Yeah.
So I'm disagreeing with you
Okay.
because I think that would be good. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't understand where that situation would ever come to.
These are book tropes. I don't think any of these situations, besides one or two, could be like possible that I have.
But you were talking about Kai Azar, and if some man came up to you in a bar and was spitting poetry at you, would that give you the ick or not? And you said yes.
Yeah, and that's what inspired this whole thing. And I honestly put that on my list because I'm like, a man being poetic, I don't like, there's a fine line because like on one hand, I don't want to just be called like hot. Like be like, be creative and your compliments, right? On the other hand, if you get too creative, I'm gonna get the ick. So like meet in the middle and just
What's the middle then? Tell me, like, what are we talking? Like what's okay, let's go down this route. Phrases in books that give you the ick, like would give you the ick in real life. If you were, having a good time and he like called you good girl, you would hate that?
see, I don't know. I think I'd have to experience it first to realize if I like to understand if I would like it or not.
So this is all hinging on if Emma can experience these things. Well, that's unfortunate for us. because right now in this moment, right now in this moment when we are recording this episode, there's no experience.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So my point is Kai Azar type mentality.
Yeah.
If you asked him or what no. Yeah. If you asked somebody what their favorite color was and they went, I don't know what color your eyes are.
Blue.
But if they okay, see? Did that.
That's fine, I think. It's just when they get like this long string of like poetic words, like one after the other, I'd be like, okay, I don't I don't know. Okay, I also think this stems from like when people give me a compliment, like the most basic compliment, I don't know how to react. I'm just like, okay. So I feel like that's like I feel like that's kind of what it stems from because I'm like, if they just gave me like complimented me for like, a long ass sentence in the most like beautiful poetic way, I would not know how to respond at all. Like, do I just be like, you too?
So what were Yes. It's exactly how you respond. Forbidden romance is what we were talking about.
Yeah, so you wouldn't mind it. I would crash out.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And only because you don't want to put in the effort or because you just don't think it would work out?
I just don't think it would work out. And I think that would like because if I was put in that situation, I'd be like, okay, pros and cons to this. There's a chance it's going to go very, very badly. So we're just not going to do it.
So you're going to take the less optimistic route is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm 100% a glass half empty kind of person.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, and that's why we're balanced out because you're a glass half full.
Well, it depends on the day.
But usually.
Except for today when we text each other, we're both like, there's not enough coffee in the world for today.
Today was bad and my day's not even over after this, so.
Same.
I just want to go to sleep. Anyways,
Bro, same.
I was like driving back from my grandma's thinking about my bed, and I'm like, how nice would that be to just lay in bed?
Emma's one true love right now is her bed.
No, for real.
No, for real.
Anyways,
Sorry.
the next one is love triangle.
Oh no, that's definitely the ick.
Yeah, that's definitely. But it would be like you and two guys.
Yeah, still the ick.
Yeah, okay. Me too. I could only talk to one guy at a time. Like there ain't no way I'd be able to balance two guys and then choose. I'm so indecisive. That would be bad. I'd be like, actually neither, because I don't want to choose.
At Selena for real. Okay.
For real.
Well, but if you were in her situation, you'd have an easy decision.
Well,
You
yeah.
would make your decision real fast,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
which we know already. No, I don't understand how people do that. Like that is a real thing. I don't have the mental capacity for that.
I don't have the mental capacity for one guy most of the
No,
time.
literally.
Like
how do you keep your conversation straight? Like what if you ended up talking about what happens if yeah, I don't even want to go down that route.
yeah, no. And I don't even like it that much in books. It like a few books I'm fine with. The Inheritance Games has a love triangle. And I love those books and they end really well. Or I mean, they haven't ended yet, but like the love triangle situation ended and it ended good, I think. And then Throne of Glass obviously has that love triangle. And that one's fine, I think. It's not like a crazy.
I don't yeah.
But other
I
than
don't
things I've read much.
would we consider Lightlark a love triangle?
Oh yeah, true.
And I hate that. That like stresses me out so much.
That stresses me out too. No, the thing about love triangles is usually I like one more than the other, but I don't want the other person to get hurt. Like I'm like they're both good. Like in Throne of Glass. I was like, I like both of them as characters when I first read it. Like when I first read the first book.
I was like, get Dorian out of here as fast as possible.
No,
Yes.
I loved Dorian like the whole first book, and then I was like, I don't really know, like maybe Kale's better for Selena, and then obviously everything played out, and I was like, okay, let's reevaluate this. But
I'm always like, I don't care. Obviously, Lightlark, there is one that I definitely like over the other. And the other one, I don't care if he dies. I seriously could not care less.
no,
I know you think differently,
yeah.
but
I just want every character to have a happy ending. Even
that's not reality.
we've had this conversation before.
Okay, here's the thing. You're so funny because you're just saying how you're a half glass empty person, but then when you talk about book characters, you're like glass half full. You're like, I want everybody to be happy, and I'm just like, no, they can die.
No, see, I say that like negative things because I'm like, prepare for the worst, right? Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's kind of what my mindset is with books, with life, with literally everything.
Yes, but you want every side character to be happy.
Yeah, because they're people too. They have a story of their own.
Not if they've messed up so many things, aka one character in Lightlark.
I think but I love a complicated character.
The other one is way more complicated.
I just think that everyone I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, but Red Queen, I wanted both of them to be happy. And then something happened, obviously, and I was like, oh my god, this is so sad. He fell first, she fell harder. Have you heard that one before?
Yes, but I'm trying to think of a book where I've read that.
I don't think I've read that, but I know that's like it's usually okay. The more well-known one is She Fell First, He Fell Harder, which that's what I think life should be. Like I feel like the man should always fall harder. Always.
I feel like the world can figure out your personality just by this episode, actually, for real. Okay, continue.
Anyways, I was just saying, so She Fell Harder, I don't think that's good. Like the man, I want the man to be yearning on his knees for me, you know?
Okay, okay. So you want Castile Denier. We can't control that. So would you listen? I don't think. Wait. I don't know my opinion on this because I don't know what my situation is.
Yeah.
Because I think we love each other equally. But he definitely fell first and
Okay.
hard.
See that one's fine. That one's fine.
That yeah.
Yeah.
But now I mean, I think it's the same.
Honestly, I think I prefer that one over She Fell First, He Fell Harder because what is she doing falling first? Like she like the man should do the chasing and not in a toxic way, not in a I love the chase kind of way, but like in a I love like I'm so enamored by this person that I want them so bad, you know?
Because you have said that you will never make the first move.
Yeah.
Which I did. So
Yeah. But that worked out for you and that like matches your personality because you're very outgoing and you're very bold, I would say. I feel like I'm kind of mysterious to a lot of people because I kind of just stay quiet and I'm just like, I'll chime in here and there.
you're not though, but okay.
Well, obviously not with you, but
Well,
like
you have a podcast, so not with the rest of the world either.
yeah, but like people I meet in like real life, like actual, like you know, I'm just like, I don't really like. I have nothing to say, so I'm not going to say it. You know,
You have a lot to say, you just don't say it.
that's actually very true.
Like you have a lot that you want to say. You just keep it all in your brain and then you send me a voice message 20 minutes later.
And then sometimes when I do say stuff, I'm like, oh, I probably should have said that.
Honestly, so fair. No, I think yeah. I don't well, no, the guy should fall first.
I think the guy should fall first and harder.
Yes, I agree. Because
Not saying that the girl won't like fall just like, you know, as well. I just think it makes more sense.
yeah, you're right. I think you should have to work for it a little bit too.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Anyways,
Real. Because the men these days,
what's wrong with them, Emma? Please tell us.
no. But just trust me. When I texted you that one day, I'm like, I'm in the trenches out here when you were trying to give me advice, and I'm like, you're in a relationship, and I'm in the trenches. You don't understand.
Okay, listen though. You have to do your time. I did my time. It was not good.
Yeah, but for me, it's just like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna give a guy my full attention and time of day if they don't put in the effort. Like if they don't immediately put in the effort,
What if they have the same mindset though?
well then they're not the one for me.
Okay. Whatever. I think we should go back to the conversation of the phrases and stuff. Like, because it's more like all the men in our books have major riz, like major. And Yet I feel like half the things that they say and or do would definitely give you the ick. Maybe not me as much, but definitely give you the ick.
Yeah.
AKA Doc Ray from the Veiled Kingdom. I feel like if any man said half the things that he says to you, you would be like,
Yeah,
"What?"
no.
You'd be like, actually, Uno reverse card. No.
No, because that scene when he said, crawl to me. No. I got bad knees.
But you love that scene.
Yeah, exactly. I love reading about it, but doing it, I'd be like, I don't know. But then when Cassian says put your hands on the headboard, that's different.
Girl wants to be told, but only certain things.
Exactly. The phrase, um, we can walk down a mountain or you can stay silent for like weeks, but at the end talk to me. Like that whole scene, that's like, you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yes.
That scene was like very sweet and emotional, and that's the type of like words of affirmation I would want to hear. Not like the poetic, like, you know what I mean?
So you want the tough love.
Yeah, like a little bit of bullying, a little bit of tough love.
And you just said earlier that you wouldn't want enemies to lovers.
Not enemies to lovers, but just like, no, because you need a little banter, but that's not enemies to lovers.
Where would you draw the line? I mean, like, are we thinking like a Rowan and Aelin situation, or would you not even like?
No. I don't want my man punching me or telling me I would have been better off dead. No, thank you.
I feel like that's a perfect opportunity, though, for you to say something sassy back. And you are very good at that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be you personally would really like to just go at it.
I want like a Dorian and Manon situation. Or a Cassian and Nesta situation.
Okay, but Cassian, low key, hot take. Low key, just him in general sometimes gave me the ick.
Yeah, he didn't give me the ick.
No, but like in general, he did.
Okay.
Because I don't you like the like I don't know what the word is.
Like sarcastic?
Yeah, like that sort of thing. You like more of that, and I don't like that because it's like don't be grossly flirting with me. That's gross. You like that in books.
Yeah. In real life, I guess we could talk about this one. In real life, if a guy did that and I didn't like them at all, that would give me the ick. But if I did like them, then I would be attracted to that more.
Wait, you mean if you mutually liked each other, or if there was like if you just liked him and he was sarcastic and whatever?
Like if we mutually liked each other and they were being sarcastic to me and I was being sarcastic to them, like I'd like that.
But what if you were just chilling in a bar, okay, and somebody came up to you and came up with a line, okay, something Cassian-esque, okay, would that give you the ick?
Honestly, it would depend on if I was in the mood to be social.
Okay.
But also, I don't know if I'd want to meet someone in a bar.
Okay, that was just an example. That was not what I'm saying is if you're meeting somebody for the first time and they came up to you and said something like, what's the first line that he says to Nesta? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
It was something like, I mean, he made fun of her.
Yeah.
I remember that, like, because it was when they're at the house. Would that give you the ick? That's what I'm asking. Doesn't matter. So, like, if you were meeting somebody and that was their line that they chose to go with,
Probably. Yeah.
like Carrie and Swift, if you met him in real life, okay, and
Yeah.
he said what he said to Saris, that's her
Yeah.
name. That was
Mhm.
right. Would you be like,
Probably.
or would you be like,
I'd probably get the egg.
but I feel like, okay, what I'm saying is like every trope or every way that you first meet the MMC in a book would give you the ick in real life. Like if you were at this party, okay, and whatever, and this random guy came up to you and was like, "There you are, I've been looking for you," you'd be like,
No, because
punch you in the face. That's creepy.
it is. And also, I was just thinking that before you said it. My brain literally went to that scene, and then you're like, imagine if you were at a party, and I was like, no way she's gonna say that. Okay, but while we're on this topic, if a man chased me through the forest and bit me, or just chased me in the forest through the forest in general,
Why would you running through the forest?
well, I'm thinking of From Blood and Ash.
That wasn't the first time they met, though.
No, I know, but like things that they do that give like thinking of like book boyfriends that give like things that they do that give us the ick, that would give us the ick. And don't chase me through the forest. That's fucking weird. I'm gonna think you're like an axe murderer or something.
I would just like to say, I'm trying to think of all the books that we've read, and literally every single book, the MMs, this is so sad that I'm realizing this because I don't like this because they're all different, but every MMC shows up in this like mysterious context and they're like, just show up out of the blue and they're like, say something. And then you're like, who's this mysterious guy? And then he disappears. And you're like,
That's why we like the books. And that's why book boyfriends are book boyfriends and not like some things need to stay in the books.
yes, but then you say when we're talking about things, you're like, that is like giving book boyfriend in real life. How do we think that Asriel is going to approach whoever he's going to end up with for the first? Like, how do we think he's going to be introduced? Definitely as the MMC. He's going to be dark and mysterious. I have a feeling. Obviously.
Well, I think he's gonna end up with either Elaine or Gwen, aka Gwen. And he's already been introduced to her.
No, but
And he saved her the first time they met.
no, I feel like every scenario where we meet the MMC for the first time, that would give us the ick in real life. Every scenario where we meet the MMC for the first time, it's always like, we're like, this is the best. But if that happened in real life, you especially would be like, get the F away from me.
Yeah, no.
He'd be like, no. But then later in the books, later in your life, later in your relationship, you would like all the things that the MMC does. For the most part. Let's just say that all the book boyfriends would give us the ick in real life, which actually makes me really sad.
No, I just think their introductions will give us the ick, and then some of the things that they do give us the ick, but not the book boyfriends. Like not every single thing they do.
What I think is so funny though is this all came from Kai Azer and his poetry, because he is one of your top book boyfriends, yet you said that how he talks would give you the ick.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? That's interesting. Oh, here's another trope, like touch her and you die.
Oh yeah.
Would that give you the ick?
If it's to the extent that the book boyfriends, yeah, but if it's like a touch her and you die and like a sports romance kind of thing, like they're like protecting the FMC, but not like overprotecting, then that wouldn't really give me the ick.
But like
if
from
they're,
day one.
from day one, I'd be like, oh no.
Okay, but once you're in a relationship, it wouldn't give you the ick.
Yeah. Because I know myself and I know my mindset would be like, I can protect myself. What are you doing? Like, that just show me who you are.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I feel like you're meeting them for the first time and they're like that. But like if later, that wouldn't give you the ick.
No.
Being possessive would.
Yes.
But it's the same.
I don't think so, because being possessive is like them being possessive over everything that you do. And touch her and you die is just like protecting them from something, like from like a guy trying to come up to you and touch you or like give you a drink, or you know what I mean, like something like that. But I feel like possessive is like their day-to-day life, overbearing in their day-to-day life.
Tamlin was possessive and Rysand is touch her and you die.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Dorian was possessive.
No.
And Bowen was touch her and you die.
No.
Yes.
No. We are not getting into this again. I am not starting this again. We did a whole episode on it. I'm not in the mood.
You're not in the mood to argue? That's crazy. In real life, would you rather have an enemies to lovers in real life, okay? Or forbidden romance, like if it was for real.
Enemies to lovers.
We're so against that.
I know. But with that, I would definitely end with having someone. Forbidden romance, I don't know. I end up alone, and I don't want that.
I would do forbidden romance.
Okay.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. I feel like forbidden romance would also give me so much anxiety. So much. Like, enemies to lovers, I'd just be like, oh my god, it's so annoying. But forbidden romance, I'd be like, okay, this is bad.
Okay, wait, one more would you rather? Would you rather meet your person for the first time like Rysand and Farah, or Kai and Peyton? Like, obviously not pickpocketing somebody, but like
Well, I was basing my answer off of that, and I had my answer.
Okay, what's your answer then?
Kai and Peyton. For one, if a man came up to me and said, there you are, from the shadows, okay, just emerges from the shadows and says, there you are, I've been looking for you. Even if they saved me from people, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm still fucked. So either way. But Kai and Peyton had the upper hand in that. She had all the control. So, you know, love that.
This was reading between the lines. Thank you for listening to us yap about the most random crap. I